Usually, I come to my audience, you all, with something that is the epitome of everything that is wrong with the world. But today, I want to share with you something that exemplifies everything that is right. I saw something so emotionally compelling that I just felt like I had to turn it into an entire video. Some of you may or may not have seen it, but a 3-year-old, maybe 2-year-old girl watching her parents' wedding video for the first time. And it just absolutely took me down. I watched it over and over again. Her reaction hit me so hard that I couldn't not talk about it. And it wasn't just that it was cute. It wasn't just sweet. It was something deeper, something that had cut straight through all the noise and all of the arguments that we've been having about family. A child who wasn't even born yet, looking at the moment that her mom and dad became one. And her face says everything our culture keeps trying to deny. That single clip is the reason that this entire episode exists. Because if a 2 or a 3-year-old can expose the biggest lie we've been sold about what children need without saying a single word, then we need to pay attention. Hey, I'm Kelly Jackson, and you're watching Still Not Canceled, and this is where we question everything, especially the narrative. So if you're tired of all the negativity on the internet today, here is the best thing that you will see maybe all week. It will remind you of everything that is good and right and true. So let's dig in. You've probably seen this clip blowing up on X, and if you haven't, then I'm going to show it to you right now. And once you watch it, you'll understand exactly why it did me in, and it probably will when I watch it again, and also why it's blowing up. So here it is.
There's Dad.
There's Daddy. He's so happy.
There's Mommy. There's you.
That is me. Mm. Why are you crying,
No,
Daddy?
you cry.
Mommy with Papa Dan.
Yeah.
Aww.
I love you.
I love you so much. Aww. Baby, it's okay.
Is it so happy?
Yeah.
Aww. You're so sweet. This is Mommy and Daddy getting married.
Yeah.
Do you love it?
A 2 or a 3-year-old girl sits with her mom and dad. They play their wedding video for the first time. She's not even in it. She wasn't even born yet. And her reaction just absolutely stops you cold. Why? Katie Faust, who posted this on X, the founder of an organization called Them Before Us, is a global movement defending children's right to their own mother and father, shared this video and then quoted a conversation that she once had with marriage researcher and family therapist Dr. Pat Fagan. Fagan told her, and this is attached to the post, when a child sees their mother loving their father, they feel like their mother is loving them. When they see their father loving their mother, they feel like their father is loving them. It is the only time in the human experience where you can be loved indirectly. No one's even looking at you or touching you or talking to you, but you feel loved. That's not the case with a step-parent, he said. The child may tolerate the romantic expression, but they do not experience that same circuitous love. More often, they feel competition or jealousy. If every child could order their own world, this is what they would say. I want my mom and dad to love me, and I want my mom and dad to love each other. Sometimes that's not possible. And then she continues, woe to a culture that intentionally denies that to children in the name of adult freedom. Today, we're going to expand on Katie's observation, and we're going to look deeper at the researcher that she cited, Dr. Pat Fagan, the data behind his insight, and how God designed and wired us for this very experience. And we're also going to address the cultural claim that family can look however adults choose and still produce the same good effects for children. It won't. And we need more of what this little girl just showed us. Dr. Pat Fagan is one of the quiet giants of family research. He is an Irish-born clinical therapist who specialized in children, families, and marriages. And then later, he moved into public policy. He served under President George H.W. Bush as Deputy Assistant Secretary for Family and Social Policy at the HHS and as a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, also as a founder and director of the Marriage and Religion Research Institute, or MARRI, Mary. He and his wife have 8 children and many, many grandchildren. His life's work synthesizes decades of social science data on what actually helps children to flourish. The consistent finding is that children do best across nearly every measurable outcome when raised by their own married biological mother and father in an intact home, especially one that prioritizes weekly worship together. Here are some of the well-documented patterns. This is just the science. Children in intact married biological parent homes spend far less of their childhood in poverty, around 7% on average, compared with roughly 51% for children born and raised outside of marriage. They face significantly lower risks of serious physical abuse. A child living with a single mother is many times more likely to experience serious abuse than one living with both married biological parents. On education, students from non-intact families have roughly 3 times the risk of school suspension and double the risk of being held back a grade compared with peers from married biological families. High school graduation rates, college attendance, and overall academic performance are consistently higher in intact homes. Behavioral and emotional outcomes allow the same pattern. Children who are raised by both biological parents in a stable marriage show lower rates of behavioral problems, depression, ADHD diagnoses, and other emotional difficulties. Classic research by Sarah McClanahan and Gary Sandifer found that children not living with both biological parents were roughly twice as likely to experience poverty, behavioral and psychological problems, and failure to graduate high school. Step families and single-parent homes, whether resulting from divorce, separation, or never married circumstances, show intermediate or elevated risks on these measures. Intentional single parenthood by design, through donor conception, for example, introduces the permanent loss of one biological parent and the identity questions that often accompany it. Population-based studies comparing children in same-sex parent households with those intact opposite-sex married biological homes have found elevated rates of emotional problems in some large data sets. Other reviews claim rough equivalence or even advantages once socioeconomic factors are controlled, but the core comparison to the intact biological mother-father home remains the strongest and the most consistent advantage in the broader literature. These are averages and group differences, not destiny for any individual child. Plenty of children from non-intact homes grow into thriving adults, and many parents in difficult situations make heroic efforts. So let me be very, very clear. This is not a referendum on parents who did what they had to do for the safety and security of their children when a traditional family circumstance simply did not work out, whether through abandonment, abuse, addiction, or other hard realities. Many single parents, remarried parents, or others in broken situations have sacrificed enormously and raised resilient kids. Their stories deserve respect, not judgment. This is, however, a referendum on the cultural ideology that claims families can look however adults choose: same-sex couples by design, intentional single parenthood, sequential partners, or any other arrangement, and that the same positive effects will result for children as those who grow up in a traditional family where the love between mother and father is not only present, but openly expressed. The data and the children's own hearts say that claim is false. The specific goods that flow from a child's own mother and father, united in lifelong marriage, including that unique experience of indirect circuitous love, are not fully replicatable by substitutes. The research is compelling and the numbers are pretty clear. Children raised by their own married mother and father consistently fare better across nearly every measurable outcome. But science, for all of its power, has never been able to fully articulate what lives deeper still. What is happening inside that little girl in the moment the tears come? It's not the pretty dress. It's not the suit that her daddy is wearing. It's not the stranger standing beside him. Something far older and far deeper rises in her. She's 2, maybe 3 years old. She does not have the language for covenant or ontology or the image of God. And yet, her whole being recognizes what she is seeing. The living union of 2 people whose love and bodies brought her into existence. The one flesh relationship that God designed from the beginning. In that moment, she is not merely watching a wedding video. She is beholding the very source of her own belonging, and her soul answers. This is not logic, and this is not learned behavior. This is the imprint of the Creator written into every child. So strong, so compelling, that even a toddler feels the weight of it and weeps. She does not know why she feels so loved. She only knows that she is. When a child sees her mother delighting in her father and her father cherishing her mother, something circuitous and holy takes place. The love between them becomes love for her. She experiences in a way no other human relationship can offer that she is safe and wanted and held inside a covenant that existed before she did. That response is spiritual. It's pre-rational. It is the child's heart answering the design that was placed there before she drew her first breath. This is why the cultural insistence that family can look however adults choose and that the children will still thrive the same way anyhow is not merely empirically false. It is spiritually tone deaf. It treats as optional what God wired as essential. It asks children to live without the very thing their souls were made to recognize and rest in. The tears on that little girl's face are not data, they are revelation. She already knows what she was made for. This pattern is not merely sociological, it is how God wired us. In Genesis, God creates humanity, male and female, in his image, joins them as one flesh, and blesses them to be fruitful. Children are repeatedly called a heritage from the Lord. In Ephesians, the marriage relationship itself is held up as a living picture of Christ and the church. Husbands loving wives sacrificially, wives responding with respect. When that mutual self-giving love is visible, children absorb security that no amount of chosen family language can fully replace. They are loved directly and indirectly, and that is the design. Our secular culture has spent decades replacing this design with the message that adult desires and identity come first, and children will be fine in whatever configuration results. No-fault divorce, the redefinition of marriage as primarily an adult emotional arrangement, and the celebration of intentional motherlessness or fatherlessness all rest on that claim. The social science and the pure reaction of a 3-year-old watching her own parents' wedding tells a completely different story. If you look again at that little girl's face and those tears that are recognition, deep down she knows what she was made for. We need more of what we are seeing here. More moms and dads who stay. More marriages that prioritize children's security. More communities and churches that elevate the one adult union that gives children the best chance to flourish. May we recover the wisdom to put them before us, honoring those who have navigated brokenness with courage, while refusing the false promise that every family form is equal in its effects. Thanks so much for being with me today. My name, again, is Kelly Jackson. Thank you for being with me on Still Not Canceled. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. It tells the algorithm that you like what you're seeing. Engage with me in the comments. I do read them, and I do my best to get back to every person who makes a comment. Give me suggestions of topics that you would like for me to dig into. It's what I do. Thanks so much again for being with me. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.